Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. So tonight we have a special guest, my boyfriend Zach.
Hey guys.
And we are doing our first mukbang. So we have some nachos. This recipe is from the Plant Meal Planner by High Carb Hannah. Let's give it a taste test. Pretty good.
Yeah, those are amazing. This is definitely one of my favorite recipes from the meal planner.
Same.
It's definitely one of the easiest. Well, I would say so. Although, what do we do different? We don't, the nacho cheese is, which one? You would know more than I would.
So we use the potato nacho cheese.
There you go, that's the difference.
So there's like a nacho cheese that's with the nacho meal plan, but I like to just use the potato nacho cheese, which you can find that under the dressings portion in Plant Meal Planner.
And just in case for those wondering what this is just chlorophyll. I usually drink it in the morning, but I forgot to drink it, so I'm gonna have it with my dinner.
So I asked you guys like what you wanted me to talk about at this mukbang, and like I got a lot of questions, but it seems like a lot of you guys wanted to know about me and Zach, like how we met and all that. So we met on a Facebook group called Vegan Singles back in March. Remember the day that we started talking?
March 13th.
Aw, you remembered.
You would have put me on the spot and I fucking nailed it. Oh shit.
Well, there goes my no cussing streak for my freaking channel. Awesome.
Told you it wasn't gonna happen.
It's like we haven't cussed on my channel yet, so you know.
She hasn't. She still hasn't. So just me. I'm the potty mouth.
So yeah, March 13th is when we first started talking. And I think it was like 2 days later that we decided like, yeah, we definitely want to meet up. So Zach drove down in April.
Was it April 6th through the 9th?
And
got an Airbnb. Yeah, that's right, because that was the weekend of Veg Fest.
yep.
So I went to Veg Fest, and then we got, I mean, they had all sorts of good food there. Plus the young coconuts, which I mean, I'm assuming you guys saw that picture. I think that was one of the first pictures that we had.
That was our very first picture together.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
So I do remember some things. You know, my memory goes here and there. We went to Veg Fest, and then all the amazing restaurants in Nashville. What was it? Gray's, Wild Cow. Went to Sunflower. Did my first Cube of Truth. Was it on the pedestrian bridge? A little cold, but you know.
It's freezing. Oh my god. It was so cold. But yeah, so after the Cube of Truth, actually, we went back to my car and we were just talking. And so that is when we decided to make it official after the Cube.
April 7th, for any of you guys want to always send me a reminder, just in case, I got memory problems, so.
Whatever. You obviously remember the first day we talked, so I think you can remember our anniversary.
But it doesn't hurt if you guys help.
So yeah, like if you guys didn't know, like we are long distance. He's a Yankee.
Not a Yankee. I don't know how she got that term. From essentially Crown Point, Indiana. So if nobody knows that, it's about an hour southeast of Chicago. It's definitely the Midwest. I don't know how she got Yankee out of that, but you know.
It's because he's got
I go with it. I don't have a Yankee accent. like from Boston. That's Yankee.
I know. And so obviously, I live in Tennessee. So we're like 6.5 hours apart. We see each other quite often, actually.
For my job, I'm able to work remote, so as long as I have internet, I'm good. I still have to travel back home every now and then just for some other things, but we make it work. I think we do pretty well with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. This is such a new concept to me. I don't normally eat and talk. Well, last time I did that, I got in trouble because someone doesn't like me to talk with my mouth full, so.
Okay, guys, in the comments, I don't think I'm the only one. We should have a vote on that. Do you talk, well, obviously you eat with a mouthful. Do you talk with a mouthful? Yes or no? And if you don't, do you find somebody that does? It's disgusting.
It was a one-time thing.
Death stare.
It was just once. But I will obviously never do it again, well, except for right now. But. So.
And if you haven't got Hannah's Lean and Clean of the meal planner, highly recommend it. Everything that we've made from there, which is, I mean, that's most of the stuff that we make. I mean, even this week we have, I think we're gonna make the kale Woodruff salad. I probably mispronounced that, but if you look it up, that one is amazing. The salad dressing in there, we're making that this week. And yeah, I could eat that every day.
Yeah, that one's from Mrs. Plant in Texas, but Hannah added it to her meal planner. Shout out to Mrs. Plant. I love her. And Hannah, of course.
What other ones are we making? The cheddar mashed potatoes.
Okay, so we eat like high carb, low fat, and SOS free, which SOS free just basically means no salt, oil, or sugar. So again, like we use the meal planner every single week. Like that's just how we make our grocery list easy and meals easy, because like all the meals are like super quick, cheap, and delicious. I will link the meal planner in the description box below so you guys can check it out also.
Again, highly recommend it.
Totally.
What were some of the other questions? 'Cause I
So,
already forgot.
Someone asked me like what I do for like a daily routine, which I will be honest, I don't really have much of a routine right now, but I'm working on it. So right now my only routine is wake up, like frantically throw in clothes, then go to work and do my makeup in the car, which I know is not very good. So Zach is just recently getting into an awesome morning routine. So I'm gonna let him answer that question because he actually has a legit morning routine. Again, I'm working on it. I'm actually gonna wake up with him early tomorrow and we're gonna go through his morning routine together.
So my morning routine is my alarm goes off at 4:45, and if I don't wake up to that, Allie over here pretty much beats me to turn off my alarm, which gets me up. That gets me up, and then I pretty much wake up immediately from that. Because if I lay back down, the morning's over. So once my alarm gets me up or Allie gets me up, I immediately just stand up, put on excuse me. Put on, pretty much gym attire, just sweats and a t-shirt. Put on my minimalist shoes, and then I go drive to the gym. I do about an hour and a half in the gym, come home. I usually try to do, trying to get more in a routine of this, of actually doing yoga after the workout. And then once I'm done with yoga, I try to read for about a half hour. No, when I'm done with yoga, I take a cold shower, which everybody, I highly recommend. She won't do it.
Nope.
Your morning should start off with a nice cold shower. Don't think about it. Just turn it on to where the water's cold. Hop in and breathe. That's all you can do. It's gonna be a shock, but it's one of the best things you can do. because it just sets you up for the rest of the day. Because anytime you have anything hard going on, you just remember to breathe. If you can get through the cold shower, you're not going to die. Like, it sets you up for the rest of the day like that. And then after the cold shower, you know, I usually I read before work. And then since I work remotely, but my office is in Virginia, I work 8 to 4. So I work 8 to 4, and then about then, depending on when Allie gets off, you know, we kind of plan what we're gonna have, or we already have. I mean, for the most part, we have our meals planned. Because I mean, we go out, we grocery shop usually either Saturday or Sunday, and then we get our meals from there. So like today, when she got home, everything was ready.
It was so sweet. I love to come home and dinner be ready. It's the best. Thank you.
And then breaking my own rule.
Oh, look who's talking about the mouthful.
And then so usually after dinner, I mean, I've cut out TV. I don't really watch TV at all. So usually after dinner I'll read or, you know, work on like a skill set that I'm focusing on right now. One of my big things right now is just speaking in general. I know I have issues, like a kind of insecurities of speaking in public and is kind of speaking in general. So that's one thing that I'm kind of working on. I know this will kind of help me out with that. So just kind of getting out of my comfort zones and, you know, so that way I'm not as, you know, nervous with certain things, and you expand your comfort zone so that way you actually it's easier to expand on other things. So that's what I focus on. That's usually my daily routine. And then usually in the morning I'll have a glass of chlorophyll, and then at night I usually have a glass of chlorophyll. Since I forgot mine this morning, I'm gonna have it now, and then I'll probably have some before I go to bed. Usually I try to get in bed about, I'd say 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 at the latest, because I mean I get up at 4:45. So if I go to bed at 11, that's about 5 hours of sleep, which isn't bad. So you gotta remember, I can function on 3.
I know, but I definitely can't. No. That's why I don't wake up at 4:45, because I'm so friggin' tired.
Well, yeah, you were talking about you're gonna get up at 5. What's 15 minutes?
Guys, that stuff adds up, all right? 15 extra minutes a day, it'll add up. So another question that was asked was, what inspired me to go vegan? And to be honest, like I really don't remember what it was. Like I didn't watch any documentaries until after I was already vegan. Like I never read any books, never anything like that. I was vegetarian for a long time, and that was just for, you know, the animals. And I thought I was doing everything that I could for the animals when I was vegetarian. You know, like I never ate eggs. Like all my products were cruelty free. You know, I just thought I was, you know, like this freaking hero. And then like one day I found out about the dairy industry, and again, I don't know what it was that, I don't know how I found out, but I just knew like immediately, like I was gonna go vegan. Like I just felt awful because being vegetarian, I highly relied on cheese. And then when I found out about the dairy industry, like it just broke my heart, and I just felt, you know, just horrible. And you know, it's like I will never ever be the reason that an animal is harmed ever again. So I went vegan immediately, and that was June 21st, 2015. And like literally the best decision I've ever made. Like, I just wish I would have went vegan sooner, you know? So I don't have like some profound story of something that happened, but you know, it's just always been for the animals. And I've just recently been more, you know, involved in the health aspect and, you know, feeling good and eating food that nourishes my body and makes me, you know, get a lot of energy and just feel good. So yeah, what about you?
One sec.
Clean up time.
Yeah, pretty much. Messy eater over here. So I originally went vegan. My sister and my cousin, they were both vegans for quite a while before me. I always had the bodybuilder mentality where I was, you know, high protein, low carb, moderate fat, worked out 6 days a week. And so, they figured if they can get me to go vegan, that we can get a lot of people in the family to go vegan. So, if I can maintain my muscle, then every other person in the family, especially the guys, they'd see it and they'd make the change. So after watching, I think it was Forks Over Knives, Food Inc., and then I think, what was the juicing one? Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
I never watched it.
Watched those 3, and after that, it just made a lot of sense to me. Even for the health aspect, so bone marrow cancer runs pretty predominantly in the males in my family. So that's what kind of made me go. I told my sister, like, I'd give it 4 months of me going vegan, and as long as I can maintain, my weight in the gym and everything, and I'm not putting on, a bunch of fat, and my muscle, I'm retaining everything, then I have no desire to go back. And after 4 months of that, I had no desire to ever go back to eating meat. I mean, my energy was through the roof. I had bad back acne that went away, mental clarity. And then after that, like, that's when I started looking more into, like, the actual cruelty side of things. And after looking at that, that really kind of changed my whole perspective. And it's like, well, actually, now that I'm healthy, it's like I can actually promote this. And then the whole thing of, like, I've always wanted to get into activism, and funny enough, the first time was with you. So I just never really pulled the trigger on it. So, and then after she told me about the Cube of Truth, like, that was honestly probably one of the best outreach programs, because you're not really forcing it down somebody's throat. Like, you're showing them something that's, it's kind of hard to watch, but at the same time, like, they need to know, like, if you're buying that, like, if you're buying meat, you're voting for that with your dollar, whether you like it or not. So, and then, you give people information on that, and that was one of the biggest things, because like I said, you're not really forcing it. They come up to you, they're interested, you give them the information. That to me is one of the best forms of activism. So, yeah, so that was how I went vegan. That was, this October would be 7 years. So.
That's awesome.
I have never going back. Like she said, I wish I would have done it sooner. Like I said, though, I originally did it was for my health, just because, like I said, cancer ran in my family. And then the more I looked into it, it just made more sense. Like, there's really no reason to eat meat, especially if your body can thrive on vegetables. Like, I felt way better, and my weights went up. So, ooh, excuse me. But
Jesus.
Having some refried beans on our nachos. Like, what do you expect?
Well, at least you're not farting. So.
Well, that'll be tonight.
So then another question that I was asked was, what books did I read that are vegan related? That influenced me a lot, and reading The Starch Solution is what really changed everything for me when it came to, like, the health aspect. This was, I guess, like 2 years ago when I read The Starch Solution, and like, we're brought up to believe that potatoes make you fat and carbs are bad for you. And when I read The Starch Solution, I was like, excuse me, like, you're telling me I can lose weight eating potatoes? And I was like, dude, sign me up. Like, I am so there. And so that's when I started watching, like, a lot of High Carb Hannah's videos, and that saw that she lost all the weight, following Dr. McDougall's plan. And so, I started following his plan. I loved all the food. It was just so easy. And again, potatoes. So Starch Solution is a really good book that I think everybody should read, whether you're vegan or not, because again, potatoes are your freaking friends. They don't make you fat unless you're putting, like, butter, sour cream, and all that other crap on them. Like, obviously you're gonna be fat, but that's not because of the potato, it's because of what you're putting on the potato. So Starch Solution was awesome. And then Hannah's Lean and Clean book. It's not just a recipe book. Like, there's a lot of really good information in the beginning that really, helped me think about things a different way. And also The Pleasure Trap is something that I just recently started reading, or finished, by Dr. Lyle and Alan Goldhammer. That is, basically like the science, like, behind, like, food addiction, binge eating, and it really gives you a different perspective on these things. And, like, it's not your fault, like, these foods are designed to be addicting and to cause, binge problems. And so if you have any issues with that, I would definitely read The Pleasure Trap. So I would say those are my top 3 like vegan influence books as of right now. I haven't actually read too many animal rights books, which is surprising because I'm such an animal rights activist, but I need to read some and then I can let you guys know what I think about them. So do you have any good vegan books that influenced you?
I can honestly say I haven't read a book about veganism.
Really?
Mine were all documentaries.
Okay.
So like I said, the first 3 that I watched was Force Over Knives, Food Inc., and Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And then, like, the longer that I've been vegan, like, every time I watch a documentary, like, it still makes more sense. Like, Hungry for Change was, that one's I thought was really good. I mean, a lot of them, though, is, like, I think we've talked about this before, like, a lot of them really focus, like, they're not really pushing veganism. Vegucated is one that actually pushes veganism. Like, so Plant Pure Nation, they're mainly talking about, like, a plant-based diet, which I get the concept, like, you know, it's still promoting, I don't know if it's really promoting, it's promoting, like, a plant-based diet. More in the health aspect of things. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Another one that you just went to not too long ago.
Eating You Alive?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was real good because that one talked about like the pharmaceutical side of things and doctors and how a lot of people don't know it, but doctors, I mean, they get out of the 8 years of schooling sometimes 2 hours. I mean, maybe it tops 10 hours, but 10 hours out of 8 years is laughable. Like for them to be giving you should be following this, this, and this.
Right.
They know jack shit about nutrition. Like, and most nutritionists, same thing, like dietitians. Like, most of them, you know, I actually have to go to, like, a naturopathic or holistic doctor. The only problem with that is, like, most of your insurances won't touch it because, go figure, it's not touched by pharmaceuticals. Which, I mean, pharmaceuticals and they're all tied into the dairy industry, the beef industry, so... I mean, where do you think the biggest contributor of antibiotics? Like, it's the beef industry. So
yeah. Definitely.
But well, actually, one book that I never read it all the way through, but I read a decent amount of it was China Study.
Okay, yeah, I started some of the China Study too, but
it's a hard read.
It is a hard, and The Pleasure Trap is actually a hard read too. And I was watching Dr. Lyle be interviewed talking about The Pleasure Trap, and he's like, it's not really meant for like the general public. Like you have to like think that certain way. Like for me, I don't really think that way. Like I'm kind of simple. Like I'm not saying that I'm stupid, but like I just don't think very in depth about certain things. But again, I still totally recommend it. For me, documentaries, again, I didn't watch any until after I was already vegan, but I love Cowspiracy. That was one of my favorite ones. Cowspiracy hits on the environmental aspect and then the ethics as well. Forks Over Knives was good. I loved What the Health as well. So What the Health and Cowspiracy, they were both directed by the same guy, and I just really like watching him. He's really entertaining.
What the Health is not a good one.
Yeah, and then I also watched, I think Speciesism, I think is what it's called.
I haven't seen that one. That one or Cowspiracy. I haven't watched either one of those.
We need to watch Cowspiracy.
No.
But Speciesism, I hated it. It was just, I don't know, there was just so much like cruelty and just like, I don't know, I just didn't like it, you know, like I think the guy that also directed it, I just thought he was stupid. Like, I don't know, I just didn't like it. But I know some people like it and, you know, cool. But I don't really care to watch like an hour and a half of just nonstop cruelty, which, you know, like if you don't know about it, then you probably need to watch it. But like I already know all these things. And that's why I can't watch Earthlings. Like I'm very sensitive to that. Like I can't hear like any of the noises or watch it. Like it's just, I will just be like crying for days. Like I just can't handle it.
That's one that I haven't watched. I've recommended people to watch it, but I haven't watched it. I don't want to.
I don't want to watch it.
And like I already know that side of it. Like I've done my research on it. I don't need to watch a video on why I shouldn't do that. I already don't do that. So
yeah.
Like I don't, you know, my dollar doesn't go towards that industry. So that's the one thing that I don't think a lot of people understand. Like when it's like, oh, I'm only one person, like I don't have a vote. No, you totally have a vote. Like your dollar is your vote. So if you're You know, you're buying, you know, cruelty like based products. I can't even speak right now. But if you're buying, you know, products that were, you know, tested on animals, or you know, you're even like, even if you're not vegan, like you're just vegetarian, you're essentially still like you're voting for that industry. Like your dollar is your strongest vote. If everybody was to start buying, just, you know, even if they didn't say they were vegan, but they started going to a plant based, and all they ate was fruits and vegetables, the market would change because you're not buying the beef anymore. So they would start, you know, the market would change that way. That's why your dollar is your strongest vote.
Right.
So I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Well, and voting with your dollar, not also just what you eat, but also like the products that you use. Like make sure, you know, like your shampoo and conditioner are cruelty free, your toothpaste, like even like toothbrushes and like razors, those are even tested on animals, which is just crazy. But you can find some cruelty-free brands. Like right now, the toothbrush I use is called Preserve. It's just made out of recycled plastic. But I did end up buying some bamboo toothbrushes because I am actually trying to be more zero waste, which I can make a video about that at some point, which I have a long ways to go with that.
You gotta start somewhere though.
Yeah, we went to Trader Joe's yesterday, and I was like, I never want to shop here again because they use so much plastic. Everything is wrapped in plastic, even their freaking zucchini. I'm like, why is this wrapped in plastic? Like, you know, I just don't get it. So
they're gonna be like that the store that has the oranges that is peeled and they put it in plastic. Only if it had a protective layer on the outside.
If only, you know. So, but yeah, so I bought those bamboo toothbrushes, and I use like Kiss My Face toothpaste and deodorant. I could go on forever, but again, make sure that all your products are cruelty free. Again, voting with your dollar, it means a lot, you know. So, just be conscious about that, and yeah. So
yeah, the whole voting with your dollar, I can't reiterate that as strongly. Like that's your vote. That's your strongest vote.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah, we all make a difference.
You want to see a change? Pay attention where your money's going. You'll see a change.
Yeah, definitely. All right, y'all. Well, like this video is getting super long, which I know that most mukbangs are really long, but you know, it's our first one, so I think this is a good mukbang to start with. So
that, and I have a phone call, I believe it's coming up here in a few minutes. I got my accountability call from some of my friends. So my Monday, part of my routine on Monday is at 8 p.m. I have one buddy in Minnesota and then one buddy in California. All three of us, we contact each other and make sure that we're hitting our goals for the week, and that essentially that's why I said it's like my accountability call. We're making sure we hit the goals that we're going for, what goals we're working on, our shortcomings, what we need to work on, and if we need to talk about anything, we open up. So highly recommend you guys do that as well.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you see, be sure to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.